What's good, gamers? Buddolf941 here, and in this one, I guess it's, my turn, or... That's presumptive. I don't know. Fuck it. Before we get too far into it, I just wanted to say, that, I recorded and chopped all this up, set aside to finish after work on Wednesday, and, while I was at work on Wednesday, actually, I ended up listening to Bife's video, and honestly, just go watch that instead of this. He's a better, more reserved man than I am when it comes to this stuff. His voice sounds better, his production design is better, and he's not constantly getting sidetracked by annoying shit, but there's a specific part of the video around the hour mark that really just fucking speaks to what I'm trying to convey here. I don't want to play it since it's his video just came out, and React content is fucking cringe. But just go watch it. It's good and does a better job of doing what I'm trying to do here, along with a couple of other things, obviously. Alright, so I assume by now most everybody has seen the news in some capacity that their creator of choice for Destiny 2 is taking a step away from the game for a decent amount of time, most likely until Renegades. Glad's to quit from doing the race like 2 days before the epic raid started. Fucking Grenader Jake's not doing trials anymore, and everyone's really miserable right now, and even Dado's taking a step away from the game. And I wanted to talk about something, and I don't have a script for this, so I'm gonna probably ramble a little bit, but I wanted to talk about something because I feel like I've had this idea for a video for a while, but I've never really had the impetus or the desire to go out of my way to talk about this. But I've said for years that I will play Destiny until they shut the fucking lights off, and I mean that. Even though I haven't been playing as much Destiny as of late, I've been doing more Borderlands because I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make content with Borderlands. So it's a lot of me spending time playing the game, getting familiar with systems, because I don't like to make shit that's half-baked, at least from a experience perspective. I want to know what I'm gonna be talking about when I go into the game. I want to fucking I want to be familiar with systems in place before I start making informed opinions or doing a review of any kind. So I haven't been playing as much Destiny because I've been spending a lot of time on Borderlands, and I've had some IRL bullshit take place. That's kind of put me on the back foot anyway. But before I start talking about this a little more directly, I just want to make it clear that I'm not going anywhere. Not to say that I am better than Dado or I'm better than any of these other people, because I'm not. I know what I'm into, and I know what I'm playing, and I know what I want out of this game, and I'm getting it, even if it's a little frustrating at times, and I would very much like it if Bungie would do something. But Bungie is not the reason that I will ever quit Destiny. I've said for years that I will play until they shut the fucking lights off, but the one thing that could make that shit happen faster is this god-awful community. And part of what I wanted to talk about in this video is the reaction that I got on my video that did really, really well. The Crucible is on fire, respectfully Bungie, what exactly are we doing? That video. It is the most successful video I have ever made. And the support of that video was staggering, and it's not even at 10,000 views, but that's the most I've gotten ever, and the amount of comments I've gotten, the amount of growth I've gotten off that video alone, the amount of watch time I've gotten off that video. I'm very close to being able to make money off of doing this because of that video. You know, I'm about to complain about some of the shit that I had to deal with as a result of it, but I am, all of that aside, I'm very, thankful that it did a lot of good work for growing the channel. And I'm about to squander it all by telling you all that you're fucking stupid. The amount of fucking dumbasses that I got in the comments who completely misunderstood what I was talking about because they saw me say Bungie bad or Bungie did bad, and then just decided that, yeah, Bungie needs to sell the IP, Sony needs to sell the IP to a company that gets it, or yeah, this shit sucks and is not disabled because Warlocks haven't fixed. Like, you are all insufferable fucking tools. There's a lot of people in the comment section that are actually quite open to discussion, and I may not agree with you, but I understand where you're coming from, or I've never given a shit about PvP personally, but I think that's really important and integral to the video game. And there's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every single one of the people that commented or everybody in this community is a fucking awful individual to interact with, but when you express a little bit of negativity about something and it blows up like that, and then you look all around and you see people fucking miserable with the state of the community. Not just the state of the game, because the game is... There are valid criticisms to be had about the state of the game, and I think that I did a decent enough job addressing my personal biggest problems with Destiny 2 in that video. So, like, I'm not saying this game is above reproach. I'm not saying Destiny 2 is perfect or in a fantastic state, and Bungie hasn't been making mistakes, obviously. But when a very large portion of the community is... They don't even play the game anymore. All they do is just be negative and shitty and garbage and ruin wanting to even engage with this game. I've made like small allusions to it in a couple of different videos. Like, I've talked about how different this community is compared to other ones in like this video, or I've complained about how like talking about Destiny is a fucking nightmare in this video, which is literally just talking about Destiny is impossible. Like, I've tried to make it very clear from the beginning that I can't stand a good portion of this community because they hurt the game as much, if not more so, than Bungie's decisions do. This is not me saying that Destiny is in a good spot, that there's not warranted criticism out there. God knows there are plenty of things to complain about and dislike about the current state of Destiny and the way that Bungie has treated it. I am not saying that things are perfect hunky-dory. Just want to clarify that here, because I know that I'm going to get a lot of comments that are like, you fucking, what about this problem? This is not a fault, this is not a zero-sum game. Multiple things can be correct at the same time. And people have talked about how Destiny 1's community wasn't like this. Clearly it's something wrong with Destiny 2, and I think that part of the blame does fall at Bungie's feet, because they have tried to cater to all of these really vocal, shitty people that don't even play the fucking game anymore in an attempt to assuage the bad press that they've arguably caused themselves in the first place by making really poor decisions, or by missing the point of something, or by fumbling an opportunity incredibly fucking hard. Like I said, this is not all the community's fault, obviously, but since the launch of Destiny 1, since all the way back in Vanilla D1, this game has been a game that has been shaped alongside the community. Right, Bungie is doing the shaping, but the community guides those hands at times. And Bungie has tried to assuage a large portion of the community, and by doing so, we've encouraged some of the worst fucking people into just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on these really unhealthy opinions and decisions. And some people will tell me that my hate for crafting was one of those fucking things. I disagree with you entirely, but I'm not specifically talking to that. When we look at Destiny Rising, right? When we look at Destiny Rising and look at all the social systems and look at all of these mechanics in place that arguably we should have had in Destiny after, God knows how long, 10 plus years of time, right? When we look at all of those things that exist. Like, for example, right? Ranked PvE. Ranked PvE is something that a couple of people, including higher level players, and content creators, which, this player base fucking hates when content creators have an opinion about anything, because whatever, fuck you all. But ranked PvE is something that Destiny Rising has that Destiny 2 doesn't, right? And the reason for that is because a couple of different things. One, this community doesn't like difficulty. They don't like being told that they're doing something wrong. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. So, NetEase, right? The reason that Rising has this system, the reason that Rising has ranked PvE is because NetEase is willing to tell players that they're playing wrong through a lack of a reward. Destiny 2 doesn't, after all these years of asking for it, because the sharp edges keep getting shaved off in favor of play how you want to, and capitulating to a player base that doesn't want to actually play the game. Now, execution on that philosophy is another conversation entirely, don't get me wrong. The design philosophy of play how you want to hasn't always worked out. Sometimes it's never worked out. Like, a completely different conversation. But that's why there's no leaderboards in place, because they don't want people to feel bad about their placement. They don't want people to feel bad about their performance. Half the social systems that we should have had, rightfully, after a decade, are missing, because this community has made it very clear that they don't want to feel bad. They don't want to engage with things. They don't want to fucking do anything that's a little bit hard for prestige. They hate that people think that there's value in having an e-peen about this. They hate that people would even have the audacity to be proud of something, because the only way that they see somebody better than them as being proud of something is if it's because that they're better than the other player. It's because they're better than the person below them. Not because they did something fun, they did something hard. They think that if something is hard and difficult and only a handful of people can do it, they think that it's a fucking mistake and that's elitist and unhealthy, and that sentiment gets pushed up to Bungie. And you get these incredibly fucking stupid, toxic people that just hate anything that would actually encourage engagement with the game. It's where the fucking the inflated playtime argument that you see on Reddit everywhere comes from. It's where that comes from. Because they don't want to actually play the fucking game, but they want to get everything. They don't want to play the fucking video game. And I've never understood that, getting off topic. What's crazy is that, like, rating and contest mode, designs, there's no, besides those, there's no attempt at challenging the player, but there's still going to be a very large part of the community, a very loud part of the community, maybe not large, a very loud part of the community that complains that contest mode rating is way too difficult, that it's unfair of Bungie to ask people to set aside time ahead of time of the contest mode to prep for contest mode, and then to set aside time to actually do contest mode itself. Right? There's still a very loud part of the community that finds that to be incredibly fucking unhealthy and disgusting and ruin the game or whatever. And, like, fuck those people. Number one, fuck those people. But two, like, when you look at, like, the fact that raids and contest mode have that difficulty, have that fucking challenge, and people were... I was one of the people that was not very excited for the epic raid. I will hand that off. I will signify that right now. I was very much like, why are we doing this? What's the point? I will admit I was wrong, because the final encounter was actually really cool. I haven't raided, so I don't know how it feels to actually play, but, like, watching that fucking... Will you stop? But watching that race, watching the boss fight happen in reverse, watching all that was really fucking cool, okay? And they did a good job. They absolutely did a good fucking job. Looking at raids since Root of Nightmares, that is the only spot of the game that has the difficulty and challenge, and fuck you, figure it out, you're playing wrong, get better at the game. That is the only section of the game that has that design philosophy still intact. Because it is allowed to, because it's considered an elitist activity. Because the community is like, it's not for me. And Bungie's like, yeah, it's not for you. So they're allowed to actually fight back a little bit, right? When you see that mentality is still in place, and then you look at all the sections of the game, right? The portal's a fucking nightmare. The fucking Crucible is in a dumpster. The actual day, like the day-to-day combat content is not engaging, or it's boring to people, right? But then when you look at raids and contest mode, and that's doing fucking amazing, which part, like the only part of the game that has that philosophy still in place is raids, is contest mode raiding. I wonder what the fucking reason is. Like, bro, Dano's video was just gushing about the quality of the newest piece of content. He was so fucking happy with how it went. But he doesn't want to touch the game right now because the community is insufferable. Like, it's crazy. Now, we can talk about the reward structure. That's a different thing entirely, right? Like, the tier system and, like, thinking that people, like, I don't know why they thought that people were okay with tier 2 or tier 0 weapons in a raid environment. And, like, the feats, like, I think maybe the feats should have just been inherent from the beginning, but if that's how they wanted to make tiers happen, that's whatever. I can't speak to rewards because I haven't rated, so I don't know how it feels or if it's worth it or what, so I can't talk about that. And honestly, I don't give a fuck about the reward structure right now. I'm talking purely from a design perspective. I feel like this community has asked for Bungie to do some things, and Bungie's complied, and sometimes they've complied well beyond what the community asked for, or sometimes they missed the mark entirely. But this community is fucking insufferable. They're scared of playing the video game, and it has done nothing but hurt it. There are people who haven't played Destiny in years, who are still hanging around, and like, I appreciate the handful of people that commented on my video that they haven't played since God knows when. I got a guy who's like, I quit in Shadowkeep and I'm still watching. And I'm like, dude, I like, no disrespect, and I said this as much in the comment. I said no disrespect, but I don't understand. Like, why are you still watching content? Because like, if I haven't played a game in a while, I don't watch content on it. I stopped playing Smite because Smite 2 and the multiple rounds of layoffs, so I don't watch Smite content anymore. So, like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, well, it's interesting to me. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't understand how people still hang around. That's not something that I like can wrap my head around. But also, like, that person wasn't going, I'm so glad the game's dead. It's just, I'm so glad I stopped playing back then, and I'm glad that I was able to get away from it. Like, that, sure, that's a valid mentality to have. But I know that there are people who haven't played in years, in well over half a decade, and they're still here complaining about Destiny. They're still in this fucking community for some fucking reason. I don't understand. I don't get it. And then you have fucking like I don't want to I don't want to talk about fucking like no, I do want to talk about it actually. Fuck you. We got, and what's crazy is that the negativity, the other side of this is that the negativity generates traction to a degree that my dumbass was able to almost hit 10,000 views on a piece of shit video that was. Look, I'm not saying that I don't stand by everything I said in that video, but that video, the amount of effort I put into it, the level of quality on that video was not very good, and somehow it's the best video I ever made. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. It doesn't matter how good the content is. If you're a little bit critical of something that people are like, oh yeah, you agree with me. Bungie bad for 17 minutes? Yeah, Bungie bad for 17 minutes. Like, that, people think that that's all that you're doing, and you put Bungie in the title, you're asking what's going on. Right, like it generates traction, and I'm not the only one that's like realized this either. There's a lot of fucking shitty people. Destiny Bulletin exists almost entirely off of fanning the fucking negative community sentiment. This fucking Dado tweet. He edited the goddamn tweet. So, thank you, Twitter Blue, for allowing people to get away with shit like this. It's really helpful. Whatever, man. Credit where it's due. I'm gonna cut the rest of the segment. I don't want to talk about this guy. I don't want to talk about him. But I do want to talk about him. You know why I want to talk about him? Because negativity is so fucking engaging. I'm engaged thinking about it. That's the worst part about this, is that I understand that toxicity. I understand that obsession with being negative about something and wanting to talk about it, because it's something's wrong with us. Something's wrong with humanity. That this is the most engaged that I'll ever be about something. But this fucking neckbeard fat asshole, okay? And I say this as a fat neckbeard myself. Pisses me off because I can't escape him. Alright, so I ended up cutting the next couple of minutes because it is not good, incredibly toxic, and kind of plays into what he wants. So I will say this. There was a time where this specific person was Destiny Twitter's main character of the day. He got caught paying for recovery, ended up not paying for it, and then the Recove started cheating on his account, allegedly. This is all alleged. I'm not saying his name. If you know enough, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't, I envy you. So I'm cutting the rest of this specific segment as well. Wow, I'm editing a lot of this shit out. I wonder why. I have to cut all of this because it's not worth it. I'm directly giving a person who sucks and is toxic, even if it's a very small portion of people that watch my video, I'm sending them to his content, generating traction for him. And all he does is go, fuck Bungie. Bungie bad. Bungie bad. 40 minutes. He spends 40 minutes reading tweets, reinforcing this negative fucking community to such a, like, it's look, he doesn't get very many views on his videos, but he gets a consistent 1,000, which is more than I can fucking say. I get like 10 views on my videos because I make garbage that nobody wants to watch. I'm well aware. But like, that shit is rewarded in some capacity. Like, I don't know, it's probably like beer money once a month for that dude, considering like the way that CPMs work. And I don't think he's like full monetized. He's probably, and he's got like, I know he's got like memberships and shit. So like maybe there's something there, and he streams every now and then. But like, that's the it's a positive negative feedback loop, if that makes sense. It's just a cycle of the most dog shit, toxic, unfucking, like, disingenuous garbage, the most extreme interpretations possible, and this massive hate boner for anybody that is successful in the content creation space. And then he frames it as, oh, I got my bag, I got paid for it, so And that is the type of person that this community has demonstrated itself to be. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people here that aren't like that, right? This is the vocal minority that I'm complaining about. Or maybe not, maybe it's not the minority, because a lot of people are getting pushed away. And that's the point that I wanted to make, is that, I said it earlier at the start of the video, but I'm going to reiterate it here. I'm not leaving Destiny anytime soon. But the one thing that could actually fucking do it isn't Bungie's bad decisions. Because the raw gameplay loop is still good. It doesn't, like, it's unrewarding, and it's frustrating at times, and the balance decisions are fucking crazy, and there's other things I'm playing right now that are taking my time, but I'm not fucking going anywhere. But if there's anything that would push me away, it's this dog shit community. And I'm doing what I can to not cater to these fucking shitheads. This video is obviously not doing that. I should probably scrap this entire video, but I want to talk about this because I don't want if I have somehow gathered a chunk of people in my audience that genuinely believe the proper response to things that Bungie does is to be a toxic piece of shit, and because they think that I'm reinforcing their biases and all these things, if I've gathered any portion of that audience, or if any of the people that watch my videos or subscribe to me see some of themselves in the kind of person that I've been describing for the past, I don't fucking know how long. If I've gathered a portion of my audience and they believe that that's the proper response to things, I don't care if this makes it harder for me to monetize. I don't care if this puts me on the back burner. I don't care if I lose 100 subscribers, 300 subscribers. I don't give a shit. I don't like you. I think you hurt this game more than you help it to an unbelievable degree, and I want you to fuck off. I want you to stop watching my videos. I don't want you here. And that's not conducive to making content as a living. That's not conducive to any of this stuff, the things that I've wanted to do since I was in fucking middle school. That's a horrible business decision. But I don't care. This is not a place for you to come and be a toxic piece of shit about a game that you no longer play. This is not a place for you to come and go, Bungo bad, Bungo bad. Fuck you. I don't want you here. You piss me off, you depress me, and you ruin the experience for a myriad of other people. People are like, oh, just start off the video, dude. Don't engage with this. Like, and people are going, oh, terminally online content creator can't stand the communities. Like, you all suck. You all suck. Like, there's a lot of people here that are not like that. I know I've talked to a lot of them, and there's been some fun conversations in my videos. But there's a good chunk of people that come to my videos and say the dumbest fucking shit, and then I say something back. And then somebody will respond with, oh, just get it, why are you spent 17 minutes molding about it. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry you're a passionless loser. Get the fuck out of my community. Go away. No one likes you. I don't like you. Maybe some people like you. I don't like you, and I don't want you here. This is why I write scripts, guys. This is why writing a script is a good idea. I think I've said my piece. I think I've made my point clear. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. But if I were to leave, it wouldn't be because of the game. The game could literally be on fire. Like, every time I launch it, it could hurt my eyes to look at. But the only thing that's going to push me away is this fuck-ass community. Be better, dude. Be better than this. Back in my We Are Better Than This video, I was talking about, like, specifically creators. This one, the community as a whole needs to be better than this. This is fucking embarrassing. Even when the game is in a good state, this community is incredibly fucking embarrassing. I'm doing it again. I'm going off. I need to stop. I'm ending the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.